So, a couple nights ago, NBA awards on TNT. First of all, Shaq's hilarious. He did an awesome job with that entire show. Um, but the awards were good. Giannis Antetokounmpo, my guy up there, he won the MVP, averaging over 27 points per game, over 12 rebounds, around 6 assists, and over a block and a steal a game, while doing that with incredible efficiency and not that many minutes, and really elevated Milwaukee to the number one team in the East from the seventh seed the year before. And he deserved the MVP completely, I think. I was super excited he won it because that is my favorite player, and he delivered a great speech afterwards. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's amazing. And I was super happy. Luka Doncic won Rookie of the Year. Super happy again. He's my second favorite player in the league, probably. The Mavs are my second favorite team behind the Bucks, and I just love Luka. He had a phenomenal season. I think he averaged 21 points. He had over 6 rebounds, over 6 assists. That for a rookie is off the charts. He's great. He's going to keep being great, and I can't wait to see what comes of his career. Pascal Siakam. This was, I think, one of the closest calls. I thought the other two were pretty clear-cut who should have won it. Could argue for James Harden for the MVP. But D'Angelo Russell and De'Aaron Fox, both former top 5 picks. I think that's why Pascal Siakam won the award, because he was a second-round pick. Rose from a little bit of obscurity this year to end up being really a number 2 player at times, sometimes the number 3 when Kyle Lowry was on that Raptors championship team. And like I said, Russell and Fox, both former top 5 picks, both deserving the award, but Siakam wins it, and I think he deserved it. And finally, Rudy Gobert, one of the premier defensive players in the league, wins Defensive Player of the Year, and probably the best shot blocker in the league. I understand why he won it. Of course, I wanted Giannis to win it, but I'm not upset with that. So the writers did a great job picking the awards, and hands down to them, hats off as well. But they did an awesome job. They picked the guys who should have won, and the margins weren't really close a lot of the time. Giannis got 78 of the first place votes for MVP, so really a landslide. Harden got around 20. Luka Doncic got 98 of the 100 first place votes for Rookie of the Year. A lot of people thought Trae Young had a good shot at winning it. Ended up the writers didn't see it the same way, and I think they made the right call. The fans were also big winners. It was a good show. Shaq was hilarious. We were all happy with the guys who got picked. But the big winner is the NBA front office and Adam Silver. Now, Adam Silver, love him or hate him, I'm not a huge fan. My dad absolutely despises him. Kind of looks like a vampire, low-key. But see, since he took over as commissioner of the NBA, he's been trying to expand the game globally, push to other countries. I think he realizes America is always going to be a football country, at least for the next 50 to 100 years. The NFL has a gridlock on the country. The NFL playoffs are more urgent. They mean more. The Super Bowl is more watched than any NBA Finals game ever. And the regular season, every game matters in the NFL. And basketball, the NBA, is just hard to replicate that. And I think that he realizes that. So that's why he's tried to expand the game globally. You look at the Basketball Without Borders camp. They take kids from mostly South Africa, part of Europe and Africa, and they bring them in for a week during the NBA All-Star break. And they have scouts there. Players get on the NBA radar. You look at Sekou Doumbouya, who got picked by the Pistons 15th in the NBA draft. He was at that camp. Joel Embiid came from that camp. Pascal Siakam, I'm pretty sure, was in that camp. Now, it's translated into good players for the league, but it's also helped expand the NBA's influence across the waters, to other countries, to other places, across the world. And it's really helping expand the game beyond America. Big goal here. The NBA's also been playing preseason games in China recently. I know, as a Mavericks fan, the Mavericks played their preseason games in China this year. It's a little bit weird, but hey, it's helping. Yao Ming really brought China into focus. Also, Jeremy Lin did as well. The NBA into focus in that country, and it's one of their big sports right now. They love it over there. They're big fans of the NBA. Now, by doing this, Adam Silver, the NBA office, are helping expand the popularity of the NBA globally. While it may not match the NFL in America, but it's helping expand basketball, expand the NBA, bring more revenue in, have more influence, expand the league as a whole, help bring better talent that would have formerly been undiscovered into the league. And I think Giannis being from Greece, Luka Doncic being from Slovenia, Pascal Siakam being from Cameroon, and Rudy Gobert being from France, none playing college in the US, all being drafted in the NBA from foreign countries, is helping expand that influence. And you heard Giannis, you heard Siakam, even Rudy Gobert. They were all talking about where they came from, how they came from obscurity to rise to prominence in the NBA, be NBA stars. And I think the NBA front office has to be ecstatic about that. Nextly, these award winners really push the NBA in a unique place, in a unique direction. You see, the NBA has always had some controversy behind it. You look back at past eras, there's black marks, there's stains. There's things where we kind of write that out of the history. LeBron James, the star of the last probably 10, 15 years in the league, the face of the league. He left his city, then went to Miami, left it without telling anybody, then leaves Cleveland again. He's kind of wishy-washy sometimes. You know, you don't always know what you're going to get from him. And a lot of people don't like that. You look at Michael Jordan, the star of the 90s, maybe, probably, in my opinion, the greatest of all time, until Giannis takes it away. But that's another story. MJ, it was rumored that he left the NBA to go play baseball because of some conspiracies about him having a gambling issue and him making a deal with David Stern, the NBA commissioner at the time, saying, look, go play baseball, get out of the league, we'll cover your reputation, and you can stay clean, but you have to leave the league for a couple of years, get your issues figured out, and then we'll admit you back in. Now, I'm not saying they're true. There's a lot of convincing evidence saying they are true, but it's there. Kobe Bryant, another star of the 2000s. He probably bridged the gap between MJ and LeBron. He was normally rude. He had some conspiracies, some black marks on his resume, some scandals that got covered up, a lot of people think. Now, I'm not going to get into them because they're kind of dark. You can research them if you want to, but it's not good. He also drove Shaq out of town. He wasn't easy to get along with. He was fierce to a fault, rude to a fault. It drove him to win championships, but also drove away some of his closest teammates, some of his opportunities at winning at a higher level. Allen Iverson, practice? We're talking about practice? He was brash. He was unapologetic. He was involved in some trouble when he was in high school. And you look at his career after the NBA, he's been in some legal trouble. He's ran out of money. Not the best role model. Not the best ambassador for the league. And then there was a stain on the late 1980s, early 1990s, the Bad Boy Pistons. There was Ron Artest in the early 2000s. There's been a history of pretty brutal physicality and clotheslines, cheap shots. Ron Artest getting into a fight with a fan. There's been that image at a time in the NBA. Even a time where people want to look at, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. There were clotheslines, there were punches, there were brawls, all that. It was not as clean as people want to remember. Even in the 1970s, there were drug issues in the league. David Thompson scored 24 or more points in each of his first 4 seasons towards the end of the late 1970s. Looked like one of the next stars, one of the premier scorers we'd ever seen in the NBA. He fell to drug issues. His scoring dropped dramatically. And you saw a lot of other players that happened to too. Len Bias died overdosing on cocaine the night he was drafted in the early 80s. There's a past of drugs in the NBA. All these things you look at, you kind of wince. You don't want to admit that. The NBA doesn't want you to remember that. But you look at these guys who won the awards. Giannis, Luka, Siakam, Gobert. You look at their speeches. You look at the way they carry themselves. They're all great guys. They're all humble. They're all grounded. They're all classy. And the NBA could move in a unique direction here. The NBA is still going to get attention on social media. It's still going to be popular. It's still going to be a cultural phenomenon. But the rising stars, the faces of the league, are going to be very humble and be great role models for children at home. It's going to be really cool to watch. And who knows, maybe some brash player comes up, steals it from everybody, and we're back to where we have been. I'm not saying this is a bad place that we have been in, but you got to recognize that the NBA is kind of moving in a new direction, and that could be really cool and interesting to watch the next couple of years. And even you look at a guy like Zion Williamson coming in. He was bawling his eyes out after he got drafted. So well-spoken, so humble. It's going to be interesting to see this new direction that the NBA is moving in.